Donia, and I go to Oceana High School, and I'm a senior.
My name is Kendall Harrison, and I'm a senior at Oceana High School.
Hi, my name is Jen. I go to Oceana High School.
My name is MK, and I'm a senior at Oceana High School.
My name's Iman Chakria. I go to Oceana High School.
Redefining mental wellness to me means that, like, everyone goes through something. It's like whatever you're feeling, it's okay, and that just make sure that you're trying your best and doing things that make you feel better in like a healthy and not like a very unhealthy way, and that whatever you're feeling, it's okay to feel that way.
Probably like self-care, doing what's best for you, and understanding like what you need, and that takes a lot of work and stuff. Sometimes you actually need help for that. I'm still like figuring out what's best for my mental wellness, and it takes time to understand what you need and help with. For me, it means caring for yourself before others.
In today's society, like, a lot of people look at mental wellness more as like mental illnesses. When they hear like mental wellness or mental health, they automatically think like anxiety and depression, and that's not like all it is. Like, everyone has mental wellness, and it should be like more normalized, and like people should see like if someone is anxious, it doesn't mean that they have anxiety. They could just be stressed out. Or if someone's like sad, it doesn't automatically mean that they have depression. And I think it's just sort of understanding that everyone has emotions and feelings, and just we sort of should try and figure out how to help them instead of like using words like mental illness, because then it sounds like, oh, there's something wrong with you. Like, that's really not like a positive thing that we should be putting out there, because everyone has mental wellness and everyone has to deal with it. It's just people deal with it in different ways.
It's something that's there, like people have it. It's not just like, when people think about it, it's just not like an illness or something bad. Like, literally everyone has it. And it should be seen more as like, I guess, normalized in the media, because a lot of times it's like brushed to the side or it's like over exaggerated.
Well, when you say redefining mental wellness, I'm thinking of the normalization of mental wellness, like, because some people see it as like, they mistake it for like mental illness. And I feel like we need to normalize the idea of mental wellness, because it can make people with anxiety, depression, and going through other things, like it can like degrade them, like make them feel there's like something wrong with them when it's completely normal. Everybody feels anxious, everybody has anxiety, but some people have it worse than others.
I got a really big panic attack, and it led to my asthma attack, and then it led me to faint because I lost oxygen. I almost lost oxygen in my brain, and I had to stay in an induced coma for a couple days. So I feel like that was like a big like way of like that shocked me the most, because it all happened like at once. Now I like need to take care of myself first, because before, like, I always build up my stress and I never like took it out, or I just kept it in. I also don't know my like self-worth more than I did like in the past, because like when it really happened, I was still really young, and I like still figuring out myself, and I still am figuring out like what I like myself is. I don't want what happened to me in the past happen again, so now I put like my self-care first before anything else. Talking to someone, anyone, is the best thing for anyone, of course, because you're letting it out and you're getting advice from people. Playing sports, walking alone, listening to music, crying helps too. I cry a lot. That panic attack will come no matter what. You just have to remember, like, you're in a safe place. You know, if something does happen, there's people around you that, like, it could be strangers, but they will still help you, because, you know, people are people and they're still human, and they will help anyone that needs help. So I feel like an advice is, like, just remember you're in a safe space if you do get a panic attack, and people will help you.
So I have like really bad anxiety, and I was like on medication for it for a while. Like, with me, like, I wouldn't do stuff about it. Like, I'd be like, oh, I'm anxious, like I can just ignore it and then I'll like come back to it later, but I wouldn't come back to it. So I would just be like really anxious, and it would just build up and build up and build up, and then the tiniest things would happen. So after that, I kind of realized, like, if I start feeling it, I just have to let it out, or else, like, it's gonna get bigger and bigger, and then I'm not gonna know how to deal with it. I guess just realize that you're not the only one going through it, because like when I was when I initially like started having like anxiety attacks, I was like, no one else understands, like this is sort of like I'm the only one going through it, because none of my friends, like I didn't think any of my friends or like had anxiety or anything, so it wasn't like this thing that I was going through. Everyone deals with things in different ways, so like even if it's not you going through it, if it's like someone else, just like ask what you can do to help. Like even if you don't know, and they might just want you to like leave them alone for a little bit, but I'd say just like if you ask and they say that, like don't push it and just be like, yeah, okay, I got it.
I was like really depressed because like I was going through a lot, especially at home. So like I didn't really want to like deal with anything, and I just wanted to like finish high school. So like a lot of times I would just like as soon as I got home, I'll like do my homework real quick, and then I'll like just nap for hours. Even if I wake up at like 7, I'll go back to sleep and like keep napping because I just didn't like being awake. The way that I like dealt with it, and like after, I would just say like, even if you feel depressed, like you shouldn't just like run away from it. You should like start like doing little things. Like I had a hard time like even like just taking a shower. I know that sounds gross, but like it was just hard to like get up. But like if you just get up, that's like something. If you go to the bathroom, that's something. The thing that really helped me was like joining a swim team. Like I felt like I was doing something. And when you do feel depressed, I just think you should start like doing more things, because in the later one, like you're gonna look back at it and see that you missed so much. Like me personally, I feel like I missed out on a lot of my teenage years just because I've been so locked away in my room like sleeping. And I think you should just like live life and just do it one step at a time and not do it all at once, because it's gonna pay off.
An experience that I had a couple years ago was when I was in the bathtub, and I was just chilling, and like nothing was really like happening with me. I was just chilling, and then all of a sudden I just felt like I couldn't like breathe anymore, and I felt like really warm and like dizzy, and just I didn't feel good at all, and I had no idea what was happening to me because I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. The feeling went away after a couple minutes, but it felt like forever. And eventually I was like, okay, I'm gonna Google my symptoms. And then what popped up was it said panic attack, and all the symptoms. I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I experienced. I kind of pushed it to the back of my mind. It didn't really do anything. Like I went out of my room and I acted like I was fine to my family, and was like, that's a fluke, that's never gonna happen to me again. I don't really experience panic attacks regularly, but when they do happen, I know what they are, and I just try to keep myself calm. It's really scary, especially if it's never happened to you, but if you know what's happening to you, you just have to remember that you're fine, you're okay, you're not dying. It's gonna pass eventually. And then once it passes by, don't just, do what I did in the beginning and be like, oh, that was whatever, I'm fine. You have to really like take some breaths and be like, wow, that just happened to me. Why did this happen to me?
Last year, I had like one of my first like major like anxiety attacks. I don't know, I guess I was like, my anxiety triggers when like guilt on stuff. Like if I feel guilty. I went to the hospital after that because my dad, he thought it was something like I was dying or something. He didn't think it was like anxiety. When I had the anxiety attack and I actually went to the hospital and they suggested therapy, he kind of like lightened up a little. The thing that helped me most is like coming to Mary's. Yeah, and like talking to people, that really helps. Because when I get depressed, I don't tell people. Like I try to make it seem like I'm happy. So I feel like I should tell people, because sometimes the things they do makes it worse. You think in your head that they're not going to be there for you. But it turns out it's actually the opposite, because some people overthink, which is another thing like you have to control.